Hi, I'm Leon, and today I'll show you how to work best with R and project data because in many cases it significantly simplifies working with different PCs, drives, and file paths. Not many people actually work with project files, so I want to briefly explain what project files are. You can open project files here through this tab. Then it says create a new project. It will now create a new project and you will get a new window where it basically asks what you want to do. As mentioned, we want to create a new project. You can name it whatever you like. It is important that you select the appropriate file path here. You can then save it and you will have created a project file. This R in this cube is my project file. When you create this project file, it automatically creates a folder. What you can do now is simply add your dataset to this folder where this project file is located. You can put everything relevant to your work into this one folder. It will automatically create the AData file, the history file, and also the scripts. We can now simply create a new script here. We can save it. We save it in the folder and so on. But the big advantage and why we should do this is quite simple. We are now in the corresponding folder here in the file section, and now we can simply select this CSV directly through this window without having to manually write any file path. Can then basically import the data directly. We now have the script here as well. We can simply open it here. Everything works wonderfully. And yes, as I said, the big advantage is that when we create and save images, it automatically saves them in a folder here. If we have a syntax command to import the dataset, we don't need to use read.csv and then my C drive folder ABCD file name, but it's enough to just have the file name here. Because the reference during import is always the folder where this R project file is opened. This is great, especially if you send your R script to your professor during your studies. Without the project file, you have a data import from your drive and that syntax line simply won't work anymore. Because your instructor or the person who wants to open the dataset locally on their computer will have a different file path where they saved the file. And if you send this folder best via zip by email with basically a material and this project file, they can just double click on this project file and RStudio opens with everything, with the scripts, with the data we have in the environment. This means it makes it super easy. You no longer need all these drive paths. And if you receive something from someone else, you don't need to change the file path where you save it. It just works right away. You send this folder with the project file, everything is in there, the person just needs to open the project file, the script, and it can run. If you just send the script with the data, you have to make changes again, which is why this is super advantageous. Because RStudio always takes this folder as a reference where the project file is. And you just need to start this project file, and RStudio will open with everything relevant. That's why I can only recommend working with project files in R, especially when collaborating with others or if someone needs to review your work. In areas like tutoring and consulting, which I also offer, it's definitely very advantageous to work with project files.